And first of all, congratulations are in orders. Congratulations to Algeria's women's national team for the first time and forever are headed towards the Women's World Cup after they just defeated Cote d'Ivoire, going up a player 2-1. So, congratulations, Algeria. You are on your way to sights unseen and lands yet discovered. Enjoy the beaches of Sao Paulo or Rio or wherever you decide to go. Algeria are World Cup bound, but they are also still alive for the WAFCON trophy, as we see here on our screen here today. Algeria got the 2-1 victory here. And coming up later today, in about 30 minutes, Morocco in a rematch of the 2022 Women's AFCON Finals. South Africa takes on Morocco for a World Cup berth and also reaching the semifinals of WAFCON. For this is how we sit. So, guys, welcome back to the Shape of Football, doing primarily Canadian African content. If you were with me last evening to watch whole Canada thing, it was certainly a situation. And oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get to that point. Imagine that's the goal that you concede that sends the other team to the World Cup. Unbelievable. That is probably top five, one of the worst goals to ever give up as a goalkeeper. And I say this as a goalkeeper myself, a former goalkeeper. You can't. That is that was just so. It was beyond shocking and poor. It was just astounding. But we get to where we sit here. So as you can see, currently you have Algeria who are moving on. And you see lower in the screen, you see Cote d'Ivoire in a play-in match. So as the quarterfinals will run down, I'll give you a quick rundown of this one more time. There are two pathways to qualify for the World Cup as well in this tournament. We're playing for the WAFCON trophy again, the third prettiest trophy in the world, in my opinion. The World Cup is the best. I like the AFCON, and WAFCON is lovely. But if you make the semifinals, you're going to the World Cup. If you fail in the semifinals, as you can see on the screen, you're going to be placed into a play-in match. That's where Cote d'Ivoire are. So all the losers of the quarterfinals. So today, we're going to have another team going direct to the World Cup. It's either going to be Morocco or South Africa. And then the loser of that game is going to be put into this play-in round here. And those games go on the 13th of August. And so failure to win means you go this pathway. And now Cote d'Ivoire would have to win a game here at WAFCON, one more game they have to play. And then more than likely, based off of the rankings, they'd have to go and play and win their pathway to go to the Women's World Cup in 2027. And that'll take place probably next year in March, similar to how we had it with the men this past year. But the pathways for this are very interesting, as you can see. Morocco on the top, you have Morocco, South Africa, and they're going to play the winner, Cameroon, Nigeria. This will be a tough matchup. And then the bottom half. If we might finally have we could have a new finalist possibly, right? Algeria versus Cote d'Ivoire, Malawi versus Ghana. I think, and I'll say this again, I think whoever wins between Malawi and Ghana are making the finals. It's a strong statement, but I think the pathway is there. And that's not to take away anything from Algeria. I think it'll be a very tough match. We saw Ghana versus Algeria. And that was last year's WAFCON. That went to penalty. So that'll be a tough game regardless. But the pathways certainly do set themselves up for some very interesting ways. But again, win your game, your quarterfinal matchup. Not only are you in the semifinals and you can play for the third place, you also have a berth, the 2027 Brazil, and enjoying that time there. So that is what we have at stake here in this game. And as we had mentioned, today we are here to play and watch along and keep you company as we get ready to take on the 2022 WAFCON final rematch in the quarterfinals. And there's a pathway where we could get the last two finals in back-to-back competition rounds. Because say if Nigeria were able to get past Cameroon, and let's say Morocco gets past South Africa, you could have Morocco versus Nigeria in the semis, which was last year's WAFCON final. And I think right now Morocco are playing the best out of all three teams. So very interesting to see how they're able to push through and see how they can go through. But the lineups are out as we hear. But again, we'll say congratulations to Algeria for making it to the World Cup. But as you had mentioned, lineups are out here. And here are your lineups for South Africa versus Morocco. And on the left of your screen, you have Morocco. So you have Ermici back, Ait El Haj as a left back, Benzina as your center back with Atik, and Udwani as your right back. In the middle, you have Nakash, Chabak, Trabet. Those in the middle, Chabak, I mean, story player. You can't say much about Morocco women's football without mentioning her. No doubt about it. And then Studi on the left flank with Tagnaout in the middle leading the line. We'll see if that's how it plays out. And Uzraoui as your right winger. When it comes to South Africa, Banyana Banyana, you have Swart in goal, Mini, Gamede, Mbane, and then Magama. That's your back line and goalkeeper. Motao, Jane, and Motlao in the middle. And then Magaya, Gatlana, and Sane up top. At stake in this game, not only is trying to reach another WAFCON final, but a World Cup berth is at stake in this game. And we are 25 minutes away from it. And this is what we will do. We will sit here, we will talk about it, we will enjoy each other's commentary. But let's quickly go back to this Ivorian Algerian matchup. And let's be very frank with this. I have seen poor goals. I have seen poor goalkeeping. But when I tell you, on what a way, what a way to go, Diakite. I know you are probably already feeling terrible, but imagine if you're the team and that's the goal you concede. That's tough. That is very tough for the player. And Ivorian side who had better catch. I know, look, Diakite, we're all going to be critical of her and the goal that she conceded. There's another thing to me I think goes unstated because the goal was so poor. This missed penalty. Imagine what this game could have been even before you concede a few minutes later. Think about this. You concede, right? Okay. Elkite does it. Kiri gets the goal. All right. Cool. You earn a penalty nearly in the next sequence of play. You miss it. And then in the next sequence of play, you concede the goal. That is a tough 3 minutes. And to me, that's what it is. Because if you look at the stats in this game, based off the chances, and I know the penalty is going to sway that very much in the direction of Cote d'Ivoire, but look at the stats. Look at the expected goals. Cote d'Ivoire had the better chances, it seems, or had chances that should have been converted based off of what the expected goals is giving, especially as a side who were in transition, which meant in their transition moments, they were dangerous. But unfortunately, you're not paid for what you could have done. You're remembered for what you did. And unfortunately for Cote d'Ivoire, we're not going to remember the missed penalty because that's going to be a footnote. Unfortunately, one of the worst goals to concede, the Akite. And so for Cote d'Ivoire, tough way to go out, but they have to regroup. And it's going to be tough with them because not only do they have to regroup without one of their forwards leading the line. They will not have Drago playing left because with her red, she should be missing the next game. And that's going to be tough. Not impossible. Conan did get the early goal for them, and they then have to readjust and work from there. But for Cote d'Ivoire, they have one more opportunity to make the play in, but they're going to have to do it with Gago, and that's going to be a challenge. But they have right now 5 days to gather themselves and get ready. And when it comes to Algeria, resilient performance. They go down in the first half, go up a man right before halftime, and then are able to find two goals in the second half. Credit to the resilience. This is a side who have been pushing. On the last tournament again, they finally made the quarterfinals where they then, like we mentioned earlier, fell to Ghana in penalties. And prior to that, struggling to make the tournament also for a side that we have started to see better results from. For a side where we've started to see, okay, it's not just it's not just Morocco on the north end who are doing things. It's it's more sides. And for Algeria, who first made this WAFCON in 2004 and then went on and off, currently ranked 73rd in world rankings, for them to finally make a World Cup, you want to congratulate them there. But Cote d'Ivoire, like we said, time to regroup, time to find themselves because they have to win this game to have a chance to go through. They have to win this game to have a chance to go through. That is what they're waiting on. And so they'll find out who they play a little bit later. Today, we'll find out two African sides going to the World Cup, but more importantly, two African sides in the semifinals, Women's African Cup of Nations, as we go through. So we are about 40 minutes, 20 minutes away, give or take. And thumbs in the like. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you like this content. We do primarily Canadian African content. And so we did all the final match days minus Group A for WAFCON. And while that was happening, we also had stuff going with the CONCACAF Men's Under 20 competition happening. So again, Canadian African content is what this channel is about, as well as other things, and fun discussions, and just vibes, and the deal. So if you like that, make sure you turn on notifications when you hit that subscribe button so you know when we're on. Or if you just find me annoying to a degree, subscribe to me still so you know when I'm on and then you can avoid me. I think that works out best one way or the other. So 20 minutes away. And to be honest, it's very interesting to think about the game coming up between Morocco and South Africa, just because entering to this competition, there was definitely a group of three, four sides that people were saying, okay, yeah, if WAFCON's going to be one, it's going to be won by one of these three or four sides. Most people had Nigeria. Most people should have had Morocco. Most had South Africa. And then some were like, oh, Zambia should be that fourth one. I can understand that. I think the story of this tournament so far has just been how poor the favorites have looked, not named Morocco. Nigeria started, both Nigeria and South Africa started this tournament off with losses. They didn't have to find draws and wins to get through. And so for a South Africa side who won their first game, 1-0 over Burkina Faso, now facing the Moroccan side who, hey, they remember 4 years ago. That was supposed to be their moment, and you took it from them. It is fascinating to see a side that on paper, this should be a very good matchup. Both sides, I think, can roll the ball on the carpet like anyone can. They can pass the ball as best as others. They can transition. Their patterns of play are there. They pass, they move, confusing defense, get into good spaces. This game could be just a fun and just visually may be the prettiest game we'll see this quarterfinals based off the two teams that are there. But it's interesting to look at the South African side who we expect to be here, a Moroccan side who are earning, if they haven't already earned, their seat at the table of the big women's African sides. And it's interesting to see a South African side who just struggled. And they were close to having that run in the tournament where they played well, they just couldn't finish. And that's what it felt like you were going to run into. It felt like, especially against when they fell to Tanzania early in the competition, it was just okay. Maybe it's just Tanzania were just better in the counter. And then they played Cote d'Ivoire, and Cote d'Ivoire, again, lethal in the transition, but then nothing to show for it. But then they played Burkina Faso, and even against Burkina Faso, they are saved at the end. Well, at the beginning of the second half, a penalty is called, but then they're able to get out of it. South Africa have given themselves opportunities, but at the same time, they've missed so many. And so for me, that's what makes this South Africa side very interesting. They should be a top team, and they are, but they currently aren't performing like one. And so think about that. That we could have possibly two teams that made the World Cup. We've already seen three teams from the World Cup, or one team not make it through. Zambia has made the Olympics, they made the World Cup, and they just unfortunately lucked into the group of death. Malawi finally got their opportunity on the African stage, and they showed it. So Zambia already out. But now in Africa, think about the logic that either a team that has been in the semifinals of the last two WAFCONs or a team that's been in the finals of the last two WAFCONs might have to go through the International Confederation playoff. Hey, African football is improving. Or if you don't take care of if you don't take care of the teams you're supposed to at those times, that's what comes back to bite you. And I think that's what happened with South Africa, and ultimately what's happening with Nigeria. We'll talk about that Nigeria side in a minute. But if those two teams had topped their groups like they were supposed to, they'd be in other spaces. But if a team, if a favorite falters and makes a bracket that's already small, very, very congested. And this is what we have with WAFCON. You had both Nigeria falter and South Africa. Both those sides finished in second in their group. And as a result, they are now all crammed together at the top bracket. Meanwhile, the bottom half of the bracket looks like life. Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria through. Man, if that should have been South Africa. If South Africa goes there, then you have South Africa at the bottom there. It should have been South Africa, Algeria, and you trust South Africa to get that win. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But then Nigeria as well. Nigeria struggled, and because Nigeria struggled, if Nigeria had won like some people thought they would have, they'd be in the Malawi slot. And Nigeria versus Ghana in the quarterfinals, oh, the rice would be burned for days. I say this as a Ghanaian. And so faltering early, and this is with 16 teams. If this was with 12 teams, and maybe they could have found their way through, but this is with 16 teams and cutting the field down to 8. It gets very interesting. And that's the importance. Look, bank your points early in tournaments. Always say that. If you can get a win early, you can get your foot into the next round. And that's what effectively happened. I mean, look at using the African examples. Look at Ghana's men's side at the men's World Cup. They get the win early, they get the draw, and then from there it's maybe they can go on 5, they end up losing, they go out on 4. And then, we won't talk about the Colombia game. It was lifeless, but you bank your points, you give yourself an opportunity to move on. But the top half of this looks like it's going to be, as an expression says, it's murderer's row. It's a gauntlet. On the bottom half, I'm going to say again, I think winner between Malawi and Ghana are going to the finals. I think the winner of Malawi and Ghana can beat Algeria. It may not be pretty, but I think they could. And if that's not the case, for the record, Algeria have not. Yeah, actually, let me pull that up here to be sure here. Algeria haven't. Let's move tonight. Algeria's best finish. This is going to be Algeria's best finish. Yeah. Their best finish prior to last World. Yeah, was last WAFCON. They made the quarterfinals and they lost to the Ghana. So this is now their best finish. You, there's a world out there where you can have Morocco, Algeria as your final. And at that point, North Africa stand up. If it wasn't clear that y'all are doing something on this, if it wasn't clear already. But pardon me, that's bad manners of me. But we sit here and we wait. We're about 12 minutes away. Where to watch? Channel 4 should have it. So if you have access to the UK and you have a Channel 4 online, I've used that during this tournament. I've also used the VPN route. VPN, and I am in the UK and I flip it to UK and then I watch the games from there. So that's it. If you're outside of Africa watching this, CAF's YouTube channel should have it, but check the listing. And different people may have the games playing, especially at this point. They will do their part to have the games, but we wait 10 minutes from kickoff, is where we currently sit, with one more slot in the World Cup and one more spot in the WAFCON semifinals up for grabs. It's Morocco versus South Africa in a rematch. In a rematch of the 2022 Women's African Cup of Nations final, which South Africa won 2-1. And what a game that was. What a game that was. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button here or just like the video. Again, I would love to, before the finals hit 1,500 subscribers, be just a little mini goal I have. It's the first time and the last time I'm going to bring it up until the end of the stream. But that is what we're aiming to go through. Last 5 matchups to let you know which go into the Women's African Cup of Nations. You have Morocco drew Senegal in their last game. They beat Algeria 1-0 and then defeated Kenya 4-0. Before that, they had a friendly versus Cabo Verde where they won that game 5-0. They then defeated, they defeated Benin in June. And before that, they drew New Zealand 0-0. Now, when it comes to South Africa's matchups for them in their last head to heads, they have all been won by South Africa. There was a final back in 2022. And then December 2025, that game went by a score of 2-0 for those sides. And so Morocco certainly looking to get their lick back here. We'll see if they are able to do it. But commentating should be good. But we're going to be here chilling with you guys, talking, keeping it running, keeping it well, keeping you company while we're here. Just another voice on top of the hundreds of voices that are here. But already, if I haven't do it, I'll do it again. Congratulations to Algeria for qualifying for the Women's World Cup. And what is now at stake in this game is a slot in the semifinals for both South Africa and Morocco, and a direct berth to the World Cup. As covered, and it looks like the stadium is a lot more full than typical. But still seats spattering, and I think that's going to be a problem with Morocco. Just a lot of tournament fatigue, but it's a nice spattering. It's a nice sharing of players that are up. I shan't show you, but just so you can see it. I don't feel like getting shadow banned or banned overall. But if you're looking for where the CAF TV YouTube channel certainly has this game going, as we have families and football lovers all together supporting. And if it's not very clear, it'll be a very pro Moroccan crowd in Morocco. If it was pro South Africa, I'd have questions. I would have many a question for you and for me. But right now, it looks like we have South Africa in their yellow kits, full yellow. And then you have Morocco in their traditional red tops, green shorts, red socks with the green and white trim. It's going to be a fun game regardless, and we will be here with you every step of the way. And here we go. Players coming up to the pitch. So, guys, drop your predictions. If you haven't already liked the video, please do so. Looking forward to interacting with you as we watch this. Right? Keep you company as we watch this final moving forward. Scored will be on top of the screen as we move, and good times will be had. So, nil-nil anthems are coming up, but it looks like everyone's excited, and it's a great opportunity. You'd want to be able to go through. I think it would be a ooh, woof. So anthems now happening. A spattering of fans, not concentrated. These type of situations, it's tough. Where do you want people to sit? But maybe it's a late arriving crowd, so we'll see if people can get out there to the game. But we're here. We're here, and we'll steer you in the direction as we're on to anthems. So South African anthem going on, guys. If you haven't already, drop your predictions into the comments and come back with your right, or we'll come back after you if you're wrong. Fun times. Looks like a 25-degree evening, about humidity 82%. Oh, it looks like a nice night. Not, I wouldn't say a beautiful night, but a nice night for football in the beautiful city. If I said progressive, you think this was like a sports watching Saudi Arabia thing. I'm not trying to do that. So we see some South African supporters in the fans, in the stands, getting ready to go. But we are here. We are waiting. One more spot in the semifinals up for grabs. One more African berth to the Women's World Cup. Also, since we're doing anthems, this is who's qualified so far. Uh, for so far, so from Asia, we have all six qualified sides, which are Australia, China, Japan, North Korea, the Philippines, and South Korea. I the North Koreans are coming. This is going to be this will be fun. So far in Africa, just Algeria, but after this game, it will either be Morocco or South Africa. You have the host Brazil, and then two other spots, which are Argentina and Colombia. Oceanic have New Zealand, who qualified, and so far the direct spots coming through are Denmark, France, Germany, and Spain for UEFA. CONCACAF gets its going in later this year, so we'll see what that looks like moving forward as the year progresses with more games and more matchups and the likes. But right now, just finish up Morocco's anthem before we get going on a very anthems are here. May not be fully sold out, but the atmosphere is there. John, listen, am I surprised by the result? Yes, a bit. I thought Cote d'Ivoire would have taken it. Go watch the last goal Cote d'Ivoire conceded, and then it was as a goalie you can't give that up. It's a tough goal to give up. But no, Algeria out to their first World Cup ever, dancing like it's a new edition song. Not new edition. One Direction. My goodness. Candy Girl is not best song ever. What am I doing? And so we wait and we go. But yes, I do agree with you. I think at that level, the difference is mistakes. And unfortunately for Cote d'Ivoire, they had a blunder. Like the sequence. Yeah, John. The sequence is Cote d'Ivoire get a penalty, they miss the penalty, and then the next sequence of play coming through, Algiers score a worldie, and that's what sends them through. And so it's you feel for it, but it's like if you can see that, you don't deserve to go through. Unfortunately, aish, aish. But as we sit here again, Morocco and South Africa, the 2022 WAFCON final rematch. It was so nice. We ran it back in the quarters 2 years later. The referees are Kenyan Rwanda squad, which is going to be interesting. Oh, so this is basically a Kenya. So if this goes wrong, Kenya, we're coming after Kenya. Nelson will be pleased. Of note, there's three yellow. Basically, the left side from Morocco are on the yellows, and so that is something to keep in mind because if they're able to progress, but they pick up yellows, they are ineligible for the next round. Oh, John. Oh, John. Don't you know? It is Random Closet. I'm sorry. It's the video augmented review station to you. It's that one isn't sponsored by Powerade or Canon or Sony cameras. It's sponsored by whichever closet they have available. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it's true. Yeah, and if they get the call wrong, guess which referees are going? The Rwandans or the Kenyans? As the ball is off with South Africa trying to chip it over the top, they move it outside, but then right back in the middle, here comes Morocco turning and getting some more possession to pass the ball around. Here comes Morocco trying to pass through South Africa. Again, I think this is going to be a very nearly tries, but Morocco get the ball to a dangerous spot, but good tackle, good defending, and the ball is played out. Again, I think of the four games, this may be the most pleasing visually to watch, just based off of the style. And so here comes Morocco with a diagonal across, a good switch. Uzwani looking, tries to cut it inside, but no run there, and the ball now won back by South Africa. And they are now going to start to build up, moving forward. But it looks like South Africa are good with just killing time and moving the ball forward. As here comes South Africa, Banyana Banyana. They play back. Sports comes out as a sweeper as they back up. They back off South Africa. I'm sorry, Morocco a little bit more. But being available for the pass and the sweeper role is going to be key. But Morocco aren't trying to move the ball, aren't trying to trigger the press too much. But the long ball, one back by Morocco. Morocco tries to get in the middle, but South Africa wins it back into the middle. They get the ball. They try to get a diagonal. Pace tries to get to it. But Zani deals with it and gets a good pass out. And now here comes Morocco. They get the ball out. We got some pace. Are we calling a foul? Ball going out? Nope. A throw coming for South Africa. Let me get my names. Back here again. Good passing, good sequence, but they can't put it together. And then Rondani gets it and plays it back to Ermici. Still nil-nil, as you can see on the top there, guys. If you haven't already, touch up that like button. Just helps with visibility if you want to hang out with a soft-spoken guy on a Saturday who's covering women's African football. So here comes South Africa. Now they like to go long. They get the ball in, but it's headed away by Atik. Atik gets it back and heads it back in. But now on the turn, foul given, free kick coming for Morocco. Again, I feel these first 10, 15 minutes are going to be both sides feeling each other out to see where does the press trigger? Where are the spaces we can take advantage of? Can we just go long? What are the options we have? But as we have Atik getting the ball out to Benzina, back to Atik. As they play the ball, but turned over. And here comes South Africa now breaking. South Africa breaking. They try to cross the ball in the middle, but can't get to it. She wins it back in the middle, but too heavy of a touch. And South Africa lose the ball. Morocco headed out, clear it. And now they move it back in. And now that could have been a situation. But you're seeing South Africa taking, probing to see what they can get away with here. As Benzina, gets the ball, places it into the middle, back to Benzina. She looks, plays it down the line, and it's cleared out by South Africa. Throwing coming in from Morocco. Now here comes the throw in. Let's see what happens here. As Gabet gets it in the middle to Atik. Atik getting it out wide to Et Al Haj. Atik looking to go diagonal and across, getting the ball out to Masudi, but one back by South Africa. South Africa dribbles past 1-2, but turned over. Ball played in the middle, but a bad first pass and goes back and cleared. And you see some shielding coming from Katlana, but can't quite get to the ball as we go back wide to Ataj, but then turned over in the middle and foul given to Morocco as there was a foul. So free kick coming for South Africa, whether they go direct or try to get a little bit more possession as Lamini is fouled, trying to break in the middle, and now here we have South Africa. And here we go, South Africa with the ball. They try to cut back into the middle. They get it back into defense. They go direct, center back with the ball. Gamade with the ball, getting down the line, tries to dribble it out, and loses the ball. And Morocco with the throw. Now here comes El Haj. She gets the ball out to Benzina. Benzina moving up, likes the space, plays a good diagonal. Morocco get to it. Yes, they can. Two gets the ball up, but on South Africa's counter trying to get to it, it rolls out and it's a throw in for the Moroccans. A lot of ideas, a lot of probing passes, a lot of trying passes to see what they can get away with here. So this is a lot, very experimental in these first, like I said, 10 minutes. We'll see each side kind of gather in and find a space for where they want to be more dangerous. As Morocco set a diagonal, can they get to it? Keeps it inside, but can't quite keep it in, and it's a deep throwing coming for South Africa here. So a deep throwing coming for South Africa. Islamani puts it in, headed out, but bad control. Now a deep throw for Morocco. Oof, the Moroccan coach giving directions. The throw in, a turn in the middle, tries to chip it up, but right into the chest, back out. Another throw in coming from Morocco. But ball comes in now. Trebek plays it down the line, and now a Moroccan fans displeased with this not being a corner or no foul. Trebek talking with the ref, but hey, Kenyan ref, no nonsense. Call the game as it is. Just thought of the funniest thing. They call a free kick for South Africa. So now here comes South Africa building from the back. They get the ball into the middle between Mbade and Gamade. And ball back. The guy tries to get to it, but it's headed out by Morocco. And now a deep attacking throw coming for South Africa. Can they do something with this sequence here? Finally on the ball. I mean, he tries to play it inside, but gets pushed off. And now you have Morocco breaking out. Dribbles past one, past two, but one back by South Africa. And South Africa back on the possession. Again, South Africa going to be patient, it feels like. They're going to be patient and a little bit pensive. Again, experimental is what I use. But they'll see what they can get away with as Mini gets the ball, gets it back to Mbane. They're giving Mbane nothing but space. And now she's going to take some of it. But Mbane doesn't want the ball. She goes back to Sport to the goalkeeper. They'll pressure the goalkeeper, but they won't pressure Mbane. Interesting. But then they get a nice deep ball into Nagama. Aren't able to it, but loose ball goes out and a throw in coming for South Africa. South Africa moving about 10 minutes in. And it feels like, again, both sides are just kind of feeling out the game to see where their opportunities are. Still nil-nil is the score. We'll see what else comes. As we're waiting for a deep throw coming on from the Moroccan side. As Morocco gets the ball in the middle, Agnell gets it. She gets out wide and gets clipped, and a foul is given. But Agnell doing a good job. She dribbled through, but then tripped up in the last moment, and now free kick coming from Morocco. Now here comes, oh, a bad touch. No foul. Oh, foul given. Foul given. The touches have been a little bit shaky so far in this game. And I think that's what's preventing Morocco, who has started, I think, the better of the two sides. It has prevented them to really start to click into that next gear. If their touches could be a little bit clearer, maybe that's on the passing. We'll see. But Morocco right now are looking just to engage by the halfway line, and a throw coming in for South Africa, nearly turned over at the end there. As they try to cut it back in a good pass from South Africa, they got space and they try to go over the top to get the ball out wide. Got it with it, tackled off, and now a deep throw coming in. Magaya, they have Magaya in space. And I think for South Africa, I want to see them eat up some of the space they have in the midfield. I think there's definitely opportunities for them to move the ball into the midfield if they'd like to and just dribble into the midfield. But right now, they're electing to go deep as it's headed out and another throwing coming in for Morocco. As there we go, dribble pass one, two, goes out. But now they give a free kick. Now it's a free kick opportunity for South Africa. As they're calling, yeah, there's a jersey tug which is late, and then the tackle there. You can call any of those for a foul. So free kick coming for South Africa in the attacking zone, a wide corner. We'll see if they can get any large bodies into the space and see what they can create with it. But it's still 0-0. I think Morocco have started the game better than Banyana Banyana, but South Africa have been growing in these last few minutes. Again, I say about 15 or so minutes. We'll see what can come and what the teams start to do in terms of pushing their luck, taking opportunities, making chances, and the likes. But if you're here, guys, if you're here for a minute or for an hour, just touch the like button. Just let me know that you guys came by. And if you'd like to type of content, we do Canadian African content here as the ball is put in place well, headed away, and we're going corner. I mean, she gets to it, but goalkeeper tries to go for the punch, but then it's headed away. So now we have a corner coming up here, South Africa. Opportunity to come in here. As Johnny stands on top of it. Still 0-0. This Kenyan official, hey, she's doing her part to get a good run of this game. So here comes on top of the ball. Let's see where she puts it in. And swinging ball comes, headed at the bottom, tries to go overhead, and cleared out. And another deep throw coming in for South Africa. A good sequence. Yeah, goalkeeper tries to get a punch on it, but kid doesn't get it clean and leaves it open for the overhead from Mbane, but Mbane just catches it on the side and it's deflected well. And Rabet gets it and finally clears. Finally clears it for South Africa. I'm sorry, for Morocco. Sorry. Morocco tries to dribble, turns it over. They try to go direct, headed down, and South Africa with the ball, but the offside is called. And so free kick coming up for the Moroccans. Oh yeah, definitely offsides on that replay. And so as we sit here, Morocco now finally back with the ball after what felt like 5 minutes without it. As they go and they sit, they go Benzina gets the ball to the middle. Trebek gets it up top. They try to switch it, can't quite get to it. Get it back into the middle. They move it out wide. But now the ball seems to have gone out. Calling it. Referees have been quick on it so far this game. And now throw in coming for South Africa. So still 0-0 is the score. And as we continue to move on, we will do our best to keep you guys entertained. But leave your comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Leave your predictions into the comments as we move. As they try to go direct, but too much on it for South Africa. Another good idea. I find that through ball might be an idea for them moving forward. So here comes Morocco trying to move the ball, get some rhythm and moving the ball. Let's see what they can do. So Hermici gets it to Atik. Atik, she goes long. It's headed and won. First ball won by South Africa. But then they're able to win it in the middle. But second ball travels back into it. Aital Haj. Aital Haj chips to the middle. They switch it out to the left. They finally get the ball switched. Good sequence there by Morocco. Morocco now back in the middle. Cash now looking. Tries to dig it, but can't get it quite there. And South Africa. And a good shielding. And she wins the foul. So 11 from South Africa. Katlana shields herself, and draws the foul. It's going to be a tough game, but that's the right call. That was the right call for me. So now South Africa building, they get the ball out wide to Dlamini into the middle, but then turned over. Now here comes Morocco in transition. They get the ball out wide, but a bad pass, very telegraphed pass dealt with. Not too high on the switch, and a throw coming in for Morocco. Well, John Patrick, I think tactically these two teams are probably the closest here, and they the way that they play, they both again to this point, right? This looks like two close teams who are grinding to stalemate, thinking of a low scoring 1-0 or something like that. I think it's gonna be whatever the score is, it's gonna be the thinking players game. And it looks like they're giving the corner to Morocco. So Morocco with the corner. So yeah, I think technically both these sides can roll the ball as best as anyone in Africa. I think stylistically these will be this will be the prettiest game in terms of just flowing compared to some of the other games that we'll watch. I think the rest will just be a lot of direct route one. Maybe Ghana, Malawi might give you something. I think Cameroon, Nigeria may be a little bit more physical of the game. But here it comes on the corner. Shebek sends over it. Sorry, Chibak. Said that correctly. Good delivery. Tries to head it a nicely cross, but now out. And now South Africa trying to clear it and get it out. Win the second ball and cleared out and out. And throwing coming in. But yeah, I think this is going to be probably a 1-0 probably would be that type of a game. I think probably like a 2-1 type of a game. A 2-1 type of a game is probably where it is. I think both teams are good enough to score one, but I think the winner, I think until that last sequence, South Africa keep it in the here. Good dribbling, good movements, but then right back to Al Haj. Good ball into the middle. Oh, they're finding their crosses there. That was a nice cross. But yeah, I think a 2-1 game is probably what we're gonna get up in this matchup here. True. I think based off how they're playing, I think Morocco's gonna win. Like their entire sequence, like their entire tournament, I think Morocco have been the better side. But I don't know. This feels it's early to call this type of a game, but this feels like a game where there'll be lots of goals. I don't think this is a game where South Africa scores at the end and steals it. I think both teams are gonna get goals. Now maybe they steal it at the end. We'll have to wait and see. But I think they are most certainly gonna be a fun, good tactical game, in my opinion. But that chance by Catalan, you got to put that on frame. You cannot get it off a turnover. Make the goalie make a save. Come on, ladies. You guys, these two teams, y'all are capable of hitting the net. So shots on target would be great. Would be great. As Catalana sends a warning shot off that, but again, still 0-0 as you can see, as we await a breakthrough. Elna gets it back out. They go direct, go down the line, but I have to be careful. Very good, but a bad pass put into the middle. Bad pass, good shoulder drop, but good defending by South Africa. But then the tackle gets it back from Morocco again. They are making the right read. Shabak in the middle, but then bad pass, bad touch really. And South Africa finally get it, and they elect to go not long into the middle. Good little sequence of passing there. And they try to switch the play, but one back by South Africa. South Africa try to go through the middle. Oh, if she can get to it. Oh, too much on it, but a good idea there. Again, you're starting to see when space are open, you're going to see both sides are going to start to take chances. That was a very clever pass, a through ball that South Africa nearly got to the end of it, but 0-0 is the score still. Nilly is the score still. No, for sure. You can definitely see that. I think South Africa are trying to go for the stretch and catch them. Napping are catching them one step too high, and then try to catch them with a long pass or long diagonal. Morocco certainly are trying to push their better, closer sequence of passing and movement, but I think their touch is what's betraying them so far, no slowing them down so far. Because right now Morocco just seem like they're getting to every loose ball, but their touch is betraying them and laying them down. Whereas South Africa, when they get it, they're finding some clever spaces that are just one or two players off. And so there's definitely, like I said, this feels like a 2-1 game. There's definitely opportunities in it, but it feels like a 2-1 game to me. But you guys let me know. And if you're swinging by, even if you're here for 1 minute or an hour, just touch the like button. Let me know you were here. If you accept the content, we do primarily Canadian African content here on The Shape of Football. So if you do like that, hit the subscribe button. Keep us there and live the life. As South Africa now have a free kick in the attacking space. Let's see what they can do with this one. Do they go direct? It feels like it. Morocco are already defending, already have their wall up. And now South Africans slowly making their way deliberately. It feels like they're trying to just like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. Motal on delivery. She sends it in a high looping ball, too deep. And a goal kick come from Morocco. Too deep on it. As Morocco with it. Now they begin their turn around. 6 fouls so far for Morocco, only 2 for South Africa, which is a little bit surprising. We'll see if that evens out by the end of the game. But here comes South Africa. They go back to the goalkeeper, back to Swart. Swart goes long, direct, headed in the middle. First ball won by Morocco. Put a bad back pass and goes all the way back to Morocco. Morocco with on the ball now. And Zani and Zena. Ah, come on, head, wake up. So as we see the ball making through, and Benzina, keep on doing this. Who's out wide here? Here comes El Hodge. One in the middle. Now here comes South Africa. The referee plays advantage. She gets the ball out wide. Not too much on it. Motal gets it. Can Motal get a cross in? Is there anyone there for it? No, there is no one there for it. But bad pass. One back by South Africa. But then they snuff out. snuff out the sequence as they go through. But to your point, John Patrick, I think just true. Sometimes we can be. I think that once you sometimes we can become prisoners of what the best football can look like, right? If you spend all your time watching Spain, like both men and women, if you spend your time watching Spain and you flip it over and you're like, okay, what are we doing here? And it's a little bit more uh, direct. It's a little bit more route one. Yeah, I think we will always run into that problem where we look at it and say, well, if that's the standard, how do you play through? I think though it can sound harsh, but at the same time, being able to your touch is something that's going to impact how well you'll play on the pitch. Now, shots on target, that's a different point. I think do you agree that we can be very harsh on that because everything can change. To that point, I was ultimately going to get to that point there at the end. So thank you for beating me to it. South Africa get it inside. Is that offsides? No offsides called. Cut back in the middle, but to no one. But offside, yeah. I thought for sure that was offsides, right? I think a shot. I think getting shots on target. That's something you want your team to work better on. Oh, she was just off, but not fully. But I think I'll be more critical if your touch is poor because that inhibits you from actually progressing the ball. If you can't control the ball when it gets to you, then you basically have to run under anything versus stopping and playing. So I think that's where I'll be more critical on. And then again, this I'm a goalkeeper. Like that's why I was a fullback and a midfielder, and then I got switched to goalkeeper and I never left because I cared not for my body. And so I think there's a point out there, but it's also to this point here true. It really is easy for us to say, hey, they should have done better as we sit here on our computers giving commentary on a game that we have never played. This is elite level for them. And for us, we're just like, we could do this on a Tuesday. It's like we could not do this on a Tuesday. So yeah, it's easy to be critical when you're sitting in a comfy chair miles away, right? And I think that's a very fair point. But I think for me, I'll always be more critical on your touch because your touch is what's going to impact if you can move the ball or not. So within that, that's where I'll say I'll be more. I can be critical on touch, controlling the ball, than say getting shots on target because if you can't control it, you can't get a shot off, right? But it's a fair point. I think it's something for us always to keep in mind. It's easy to be critical when you're eating snacks and making comments. No doubt about it. But it's still nil-nil. It is still nil-nil as we sit here as Morocco with the ball. They move it inside, get it out wide, swing it out back to El Haj, sends in a good cross. Oh, a chip. Oh, E, E, c'est chaud, c'est chaud. What a, oh, oh, ooh, that was clever. And again, touch. If you don't have good touch, you can't put a shot on frame. I rest my case. 1-0 Morocco. Ait El Haj. Tell me something you haven't seen before. A oh, that is a goal. That is as a goalkeeper, you're just like, you know what? Yeah, tip my cap to you. Like that is a oh what a touch. What a finish. 1-0 for the Atlas Lionesses. They're on the revenge tour. They want everyone who's ever defeated them to get a WAFCON title. So next round they want Nigeria next round. But what a touch. That is mm, That was appropriately spoken about in the conversation. Without a good touch, you can't score. South Africa get the ball, they'll try to go, but foul given, free kick coming. Hey, like that cheeky leaper over the top. That is a tip your hat. Like that's a goal where you're just like you beckon him over and be like, "You got me." It's also why I wouldn't play because if I got beat by something like that, I go tell the player, "You got me, man." Shoot, I couldn't get to that. But 1-0 for the Atlas Lionesses. They have 1 foot in a beach in Brazil and 1 foot to win a trophy that's eluded them for the last two. Ooh, I'm sorry, did you say 63? Okay, I thought you were talking about a player. Like, who's 63 playing here? Oh, it's the coach. Okay, cool, cool, coach. Yep, keeper had no choice. But South Africa now having to go on the front foot here. Let's see how they respond. But they get the ball into the middle as they try to swing it, but a bad touch there sends the player back. Now here comes South Africa, moving the ball up. Magaya tries to go top, but Johnny are cut or nowhere near it. Goes back to and goes back to Morocco. 1-0 is the score. Ah, a finish by Uzraoui off El Ait El Haj. You tell me something you haven't heard before. A Moroccan right back doing great work in putting up numbers. Yeah, it's like a tradition now. Johnny, yeah, it goes down a little bit softly, but earns the free kick. So here we go. We sit and we go. It was offside. Ball's claimed by Ricci. Or Ricci there. What's offside, Elijah? What was offside? The goal was not offside. As Benzina is fouled. Oh, gets the push, and she goes down and goes for. So 1-0 Morocco. Again, I think though South Africa had some stretches where they, some free kicks, some corners that they were trying to make something of. I think Morocco have been the better side of this game so far, and 1-0 is indicative of how they've been playing. One shot on target, and it's the goal, but three shots or two shots on overall. So here comes now Morocco trying to dribble, get out wide. Oh, Zarawi gets it wide. Oh, diving header. If she doesn't get to it, that's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Morocco now applying a little bit more pressure. They try to go direct again. Zuni tries to go. Go. Oh, Shabak. That alone, wide open net, and skies it. Eh, unbelievable. How about the laser flash on South African players? Could you please comment on this? I haven't seen any. Now, granted, my mind is divided, but I haven't seen anything. Oh, South Africa, that was a good idea. Sane with it, you're dribbling into trouble there, but gets it back to South Africa. I haven't seen it here on this game so far, but if it's there, would it surprise me? No. I'm waiting to see, but offside is given. But South Africa now, hey, some onus on them. Yeah, you're offsides on that pass. But but it's play that's you don't have to call it there because it's not played by the player. Like the initial pass is off, but that's interesting. We let it run. She'll back with the ball in the middle. She goes diagonal, but a little bit too much on it. Won't get to it, but keeps it in. Tries to win the free kick, but it goes as a goal kick. Goal kick coming for South Africa. Mhm. Here we are with South Africa building out. Back out. Let's see what they can do here. Sport stepping out, and you're seeing Morocco again. They get to this corner. They're just not trying to pressure it. If South Africa were wise, they'd have opportunities and swing it back. No, Swartz out of her goal. Let's not make bad mistakes here. Good, 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 good. And now here comes South Africa. Now she's advancing. Now she's taking the space, gets in the middle, tries to flick it, but can't quite. Morocco switches. They don't have players. She dribbles through. Good turn. Plays it back. And now they've backed off South Africa. Morocco are back in possession. Shabak, you give her all this space. What do you expect her to do? Here they come. Here's Redouani. Plays it back. Oh, good idea, but too much pace on it. And it goes out for a goal kick. In a quick first half. And if you're South Africa, this look, you're down 1-0. You've had good ideas. And so I think if you're South Africa by now, you want to finish this half with a flurry. Start to just remind them that you're still here, even though they have the 1-0 lead. Turned over in the middle, and a yellow card issued on Masudi is just what it's late and it studs on. What do you complain about, Masudi? That's a yellow. Like, what are you complaining about? You've imprinted yourself on her foot. Like, and you're saying, no, no, take her shoelaces while you're at it. Like, what is this? And so Masudi, again, we mentioned this. Masudi, if is missing the next match, and basically the whole left side for them, or it's the right side. If another yellow, they missed the next match. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. As the ball is headed away, and now the ref finally calls a late foul on that. It's not Masudi because it's Uzrawi, Mrabet, and then El Haj. Those three have the yellow, so that should be incorrect. So here comes South Africa, trying to press, trying to gain the ball back. We'll see what they can do with this in this half. But again, only down 1-0. They're still, this isn't an insurmountable lead as Zraoui is pushed off the ball and the ball now goes back to South Africa for throwing. Getting to the final moments of the first half, still 1-0. Zraoui with a clever chip beats Swart. And again, they're daring them to go long, right? We'll have a high line here. So they're giving only South Africa the option of either go long or be bold enough to go through the middle. And the thing is, if they just keep on going diagonal passing here, they can back them off because they're not trying to get beat long. they're giving the impression of it, but then they're not going through. And so the line, like they are playing, Morocco are playing very interestingly. And South Africa gets the ball out wide, back in the middle, but too much on it. And now Morocco starting to break, but heavy touch, one back, tug not given, tug finally given. Yeah, like this is in defense. Morocco are playing a high line, but the second that it looks like they even the team South Africa might go long, they're backing off. And so there's a degree where if they just keep on going, if they go laterally with their passing and South Africa get the ball into the box, play it out wide. Again, like I said, South Africa get a flurry going, remind them if they're but a bad cross, a poor cross. But as I was saying, Morocco are playing a high line, but then anytime the ball moves laterally, they're backing up because they don't want to get hit beat. So if South Africa were clever, not just to go laterally the whole way, but your midfield's open up in the midfield, not to go direct, but open up to go laterally. You can push it back, and then you'll have space with a retreating back line. The game is definitely there for South Africa if they're trying to get to it. As Haramichi goes long, chipped over, held, looking for call, and cleared, but not out. El Naj goes over the top, gets into a good spot, but South Africa plays it out for a throw in. All right, so Adel Naj on the throw. Let's see where she goes. Tina tries to go across, cuts inside, plays an inside, good sequence, pass back in, good spot. Shabak tries to chip it over, but idea is there, but just poorly executed. And now South Africa clear it. They get the ball now, but not enough numbers for South Africa. She'll have to go 1v1. Cuts inside, tries to feather it in. Like I had tried to find it, but couldn't get through. And now Morocco back on the ball. And no foul given. Fans aren't happy about it, but hey, this game is this game. Tries to play it wide, nearly played into a bad spot. South Africa back on the ball, and now they move. So South Africa again. The line is medium here. They're anticipating the long ball. They are anticipating the route one, but I think they can push them back enough where they can get to the midfield. Even if you just go lateral passing, it's there. Right, South Africa are playing with good energy, but they need to be more accurate with their passing. If they're going to break Morocco's defense now. Agreed. Like fully agreed. Their ideas have been there, but if they're just a little bit tighter on them in terms of the weight of them, they had two through balls this half already where I'm thinking, oh, if that's better weighted, you were seeing a player in 1v1. Midfield, as they get it, now they go out wide. Too much on it. Too much on it going out wide, but now here comes South Africa. Sane tries to get past one, but cannot. But a bad pass, turned over, struck, block shot, turns, next shot, skied over. And that's the 2 minutes of first half. That is it. It is 1-0 Morocco in the first half. And it's not like South Africa are playing poorly. I just think they just need to tighten up their passing because the ideas are there. The ideas are there. They just need to execute them a little bit better. Just need to be a little bit sharper on them. But, but the ideas are there. And I think that's where you look at it and say, I see the vision. It's just not being executed well. So 1-0 is the score at the half. Uzraoui scoring for Morocco in the 31st minute. Anything of note, Masoudi has a yellow. And so now that's one player who was on a yellow for this game. But then again, I believe the whole left side are on a yellow from previous games. So the whole right side, sorry, of Morocco, if they get another yellow, they miss the semifinals. And so that's going to be certainly something to keep an eye on as the game goes. But let's take a look at what the statistics are telling us. Let's first hop on to those stats as we sit here, courtesy of Soccerway. And let's see what we have from here. The expected goals are Morocco up to 0.41 to 2.3. A ball possession is about 53-47, which again is about even. 5 shots for South Africa, but nothing on target. Whereas Morocco have 3 total shots, 1 on target. One big chance equals. I don't even think that's the big chance is the goal. The big chance is the Chabak miss, where she's where it's clear to her if she one touches it, it might take a little bit longer, so she has to strike it immediately. But that was the opportunity. One corner for each side. Passing has been about equal. It's about equal in terms of its percentages, but more passing coming on the South African side. Most of the passing action more passing in the Moroccan side. The South Africans a little bit sweeper action, but again, I think if they get it in the midfield, South Africa's chances have come by turning over Morocco. Morocco's chances have come by getting the ball into dangerous spots and just being clever with it. For shots on target, there we go. We're running with most of this. Only 1 shot blocked so far. 4 shots off target for South Africa and 1 shot blocked. And then 2 shots off targets. We go 3 shots inside the box for Morocco versus 2 outside the box. You sit there as you can see it. The one big chance we talked about. 4 offsides for South Africa. I think, again, that's going to more of, hey, the ideas are there, but the timing of it, if they tighten it up, they could get some opportunities here. This game is not ending 1-0. I think this is a 2-1 type of a game. I think the second half is certainly going to open it up that way. Long passes, let's get to it, right? 31 versus 45%. 14 out of 31 versus 10 out of 32. Definitely, I'd say that's valid. Final third passing, Morocco tighter versus South Africa. A little bit loose. Crosses, again, 1 out of 7 versus 2 out of 5. Morocco just feel a little bit better. Efficient throw-ins are there. Fouls 5 to 10, which does feel right. And much to the chagrin of the home crowd, they were fouling a lot more. Clearances and interceptions are 6. Errors leading to shot. Morocco has the 1. And then goalkeeping, goals prevented South Africa. Not too much. 5 goal kicks and living for that. Let's take a look at the players. Again, we're on Soccer Way. Talk away the players and who is rated where and why. As it loads, as it flows, there we go. So right now, the 2 highest players for Morocco are Ait El Haj and Mizraoui for the goal scorer and the assist maker. And then for South Africa, it's Magama, who has looked good. Let's take a look at Magama, what she's done this half, according to Soccer Away. In defending, again, you've seen the numbers here. I think that's where she's going to get most of her points. 7 out of 10 duels won, aerial 1 out of 2, round duels 6 out of 8, and then 4 out of 4 tackles. When it comes to her progression, moving the ball up, see it there? You like a little bit better on the progressive passing, especially coming from that deep, because you don't want those turnovers turning around with your fullback that deep into the attack. Playmaking, 1 key pass, and then You'd like that to be better, but this is very much indicative of South Africa moving the ball forward, right? Every 1 out of 2, every 1 out of 4 chances is kind of landing and attacking, just one successful dribble moving forwards for that, right? And then Uzraoui, who's a goal scorer, yeah, it's a goal, successful dribble. That's cool. I'm not going to. We're on our right backs today. Let's talk about our right backs. Duels 1 out of 4. Tackles 1, defending. She's done enough attacking, but progression is where she's done her work and her damage. Again, long passes not quite there, but progressive passes have been there. Accurate passes have been there. 2 out of 5, so 40% on our final passes in the final third. Decent. And then playmaking, 2 key passes. Expected assists are there. Accurate passes in the box, 2 out of 3. Accurate passes in the final third, 3 out of 8. And then accurate crosses, 2 out of 2. You like to see that. Moving on, she gets the assist, and she's been a consistent cog for Morocco. And so that's where we currently sit. I see John Patrick throwing up the comments here. You guys, if you got thoughts, throw them in. Even if you want to say, hey, I'm doing it wrong or I'm missing something, let me know. I can't see everything. And maybe you're seeing something that might lead into a bigger story of this game. Do appreciate it. But yeah, when South Africa tried to enter the Morocco zone, too many times passes are missing the mark and Morocco just take the ball back. True. It's opening it up. And the thing I was noticing, there's a couple of sequences where Morocco was pressing. And I wish I had like a coaching board where I could show you like the movements of it. And basically, Morocco are daring them on the high line, but are retreating to cover it. And so I think for South Africa, you have to decide, hey, are we gonna continue to try to go long ball, try to go route one, and try to maybe get a bounce there, one or not? Because with them already retreating, what it's doing, it's you have to, if you're South Africa, if you're gonna continue to go route one, and know that you might lose the first ball, you have to have players in position to win the second ball to move forward. So that's where you're looking at the midfielders, whether it's Johnny, whether it's Matao, whether it's Mathialo, like those three, you have to start drifting. Because if you're trying to either get Katlana, you're trying to get Magaya, or you're trying to get Sasane in a 1v1 with the back line, you got to have the midfielders, and this is where it's going to be a bit of a question. If they start to, you have to get them cheating and winning the second ball, because for able to do that, you already have the second ball and you have space now that you can move into, right? Because if the defensive line is moving already back, second ball is one, you're here, the goal is right here. I know virtual signs really working well for me. You guys are really seeing this well. You have that space to then progress and move in, and that can then create some overload and some opportunities where now you're making this defense have to decide: are we going to stand up our line here? Are we going to try to keep on drifting back? If we keep drifting back, it gives more space. Now maybe on the switch or on the long ball, a fullback can get into space. Maybe you have a looping, an overlapping winger who wants to cut into the middle. Maybe you have a late arriving central midfielder who gets in the space. I think that's there for them. But again, I think passing is what's really like the ideas for South Africa have been there the entire half. They just haven't been executed well. And on the Moroccan side, I think they've looked better on the ball, moving it. I just feel that their touch sometimes is what uh, betrays them. And so calming down, and that's both on hey what you're doing, but then also hey there's another team that gets paid and wants to qualify for the World Cup here. So it being 1-0, I think it's a pretty fair representation of the group and of the game so far. Not out of it if you're South Africa, and not fully into the semifinals you are Morocco. And so I think there's definitely game to be played here. There's definitely points to be made, but if you can get the ball into those spaces, it's either you're trusting your forward line or you're trusting the midfielder to make that dash, right? Get John A to make that dash in on the switch and then force them to make a decision if they want to back off. Because if they can back them off, and that's what I was noticing when they were moving the ball laterally. Right? The defensive line was backing up because they weren't trying to get beat deep. And so if you do that and you're pushing that team back, if you have a midfielder who can turn, and that's where they had a few opportunities, but then they lost control or just couldn't connect on the pass in the midfield. If you have a defender, if you have a midfield who can get the ball in the middle and turn, you have space now to put pressure on defenders. And now they have to decide: are we going to hold our line firm here, or are we going to continue to move back? But still, much football to be played in this game. Still, much football to be decided. Love yourself some WAFs. Listen, live it and live it well, sir. Live it and live it well. But I like it. I This half has been it's been a good half. I think from a football standpoint, it's definitely you're seeing after the first 10 minutes you saw both sides like, okay, we're gonna start trying doing this. And South Africa just haven't been successful in their chances there. And that's where I think they're just missing out. But there's definitely again, I still feel this game ends 2-1. There's gonna be goals in the second half. I think South Africa will connect here. And then the third goal will come down to who can execute. I know, great cliches, great specific answers. But if you're Morocco, if you get up two, you have to start thinking about getting it to three and then getting the right side out because you can't sacrifice those players if they make it to the next round. Because it's also the thing with Morocco is if it's a draw, they have to decide what matters more: making the World Cup or going to the play in. And that's where it's going to be difficult. Because if they go through the play in, you're not going to have your best players to qualify for a tournament. If they hold this and go on, but then lose their players, maybe they have enough depth to win this tournament. We'll have to wait and see. It could be a move, and that's why I'm like, I'm trying to think like, who would I want to put in there to make things a little bit better for them. And I wonder if South Africa's coach will notice what we noticed about the lack of passing efficiency and make some subs to try to fix in the second half. If you could, but then that's also you have to do something to right because like this is where like you need Jade to like either win it in the middle and turn, or you need someone just to if they could get someone in midfield who was just going to dictate that midfield, it'd be nice for them. I'm trying to think at the top of my head who that would be. But we will have to wait and see as we get closer and closer to that second half. But second half in a few moments. My dude, we do. I'll bring listen, you tell me time and place, I'll bring the crew. There's an entire crew. I've not realized it's funny when you think about it. Like when I started doing this, I found out that there were people who were like just by me who were loving me or like, oh yeah, you do this, yeah, I watch you on JD's channel and stuff. And like the thing they would say all the time was like, yo, the thing that we love about this is like it just feels like home because it's just African conversations, just has to be in the Caribbean. I'm like, that's true, that's true. But no, man, you tell me. I At this point there is a footy conversation that has to happen with about like 12 different people, and they're gonna be fun regardless. For you know what? For you, oh, for you, he'll yeah, that's not even a make it. That's not even a we don't have to pay for that. I can do that for you for free. We can do that for free. Oh man, but we're getting closer to second half action. If there's any substitutions as they come in, we will let you know. But it's 1-0. 1-0 for Morocco over South Africa. Winner of this game to Brazil, but also fighting for the WAFCON trophy. Be very interested to see if they're able to accomplish it and move it through. But that is definitely what is at stake so far already through Algeria, making it, I believe, for the first time ever. and from there, one more team will join it. Is it another North African side, or is it the southern tip? Yeah, yeah, that's where. Honestly, that's where yeah, that's where it started. Truly, that is where it started. Like I could tell you the first time I said anything on that channel. I remember what it was about because it was right after the Euros, 2001. So the 2020 Euros and 2021. After Saka, Jadon Sancho, I think Sterling, they missed their chances, and then then it was just like, okay, we get them to play for Jamaica. I'm like, why are you thinking about this now? This just shows how that we were not ready, or you're not even thinking. Like we're not planning ahead. Put a plan in motion, start going, and then from there it was just like, yo, and then I'd be there every 2 weeks. So then, anytime Link came up, sometimes I'd be able to come on, sometimes I wouldn't be. But that was also very loud. I was in a different place in life at that point. Yeah, 2021 was a year. Shoot, 2021 was a year. Highs and lows, but yeah, I max it, we max it. Every edition, that's where we're at. That's where it all got started. Yes. Listen, it was like, listen, I'm just saying it's will yeah, because the second game they played in World Cup qualifying, I remember that. And I was like, it'll be 4-2. And other people were like more. And I remember afterwards there was a full conversation was like, they're not scoring two. I'm like, oh, really? Huh. Well, that's interesting. All right, so we are into it. Second half is underway. Apologies for lacking a bit. I've missed a whole minute and change of stuff. But let me see if there are any substitutions that were made. And if there were, I will keep you of them. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Let's go into this game. No substitutions on either side. So we're running it back as it was. South Africa get the foul going. And a yellow now coming for Magama. Gets the second yellow of the game. So it's still 1-0 as it stands. But fine officiating. Nelson is pleased that his side is giving some fine officiating here. Um, womp, T womp, womp. Uzraoui gets it wide. She dribbles to the inside, drops the shoulder, gets by. Not bad, but no one in the middle. Good job, kind of option by South Africa. Try to play through. Sudi tries to play it through, chips it to the side. Chabak tries to get a shot off. Can't, turns. Oh, you got to be careful. Penalty. Oh, Banyana. Banyana, what are you doing? Oh, clear. Yeah, that's not no. I mean, she gets the ball. She misses the ball, but gets a piece of it. I think VR will look at it. To me, it's the right call. I'll insert some pain. It's the cleanest penalty I've seen in the last 2 days. I'm not over it. I'm still not over it yesterday. And the magic spray is out, Patrick. The magic spray is out. Magic spray. Magic spray. Magic spray. That is there's so that much magic spray. You swear this is a Michael Jackson concert and he's gonna come out from the side saying this is Right? How much magic spray do you be like, you've been hit by, you've been hit by a smooth criminal? Okay, so we'll see if they take a look at it. All right. So both players now there. Back up. And penalty definitely given. Yeah. The magic spray is still dissipating in the air that you're just like, it's like there's been too many flares up and you don't know what to do. So Ait El Haj, who for my opinion, has been probably the most consistent looking player of this tournament. And will they continue to have problems scoring penalties? Is the question we're about to have. Alrighty. I'm closing the screen because I don't want to have it spoiled for me. Here we go. Ait El Haj, South Africa getting rid of things. Okay. So here we go. Deep breaths. Just go. And she puts it away. She puts it away. Hey, hey. 2-0 for the Atlas Lionesses. Hey. Nothing nothing is better than a cold stare walk of you expected different. Hey. Hey, Morocco, enjoy your night. Enjoy your night. 2-0. The Atlas Lionesses. Oh, you're not getting to that. That's the second one that Swartz sees that she's like, I'm not getting to that. 2-0 for the Atlas Lionesses. And it feels like it's a banner day for North African women's footy. Because as it stands, if the result stays, you have South Africa going to the. If South Africa go, they are the number one. That would be wild. But Morocco convert and then go through. So 2-0 is the score. South Africa really need to turn up the pressure and turn up the heat here because their direct World Cup path dreams are slowly slipping away. It's slowly slipping away. That's where 15 or not even 10 minutes into this half, no switches. So here we go. Now South Africa going direct. And then Morocco hitting a little bit deeper, headed down by Benzina, headed over, clattered over, no foul given. Ball, second ball won by South Africa. Now they're going to try to dribble through, but too heavy on the touch. Good shoulder, but nothing given. And a throw. Would you? Oh, Kenneth, I have a question, and the question is why? Why can't you ever get excited about Morocco and football? What did they do to you? You sound like JD in England. I can't spend money on England. As Morocco tries to cross it, going over, but on the top of the net. Goal kick coming now. South Africa, you got to get something going. If you're South Africa, you need at least a goal by the 65th. You need something by the 65th minute. As Shabak is down. I think that's the more concerning thing for Morocco. So Chabak looks like she's coming out, and this might be the end of her game here. She wins. If that's your legacy of the game, you win a penalty for your side. That's not terrible. That is not terrible. It's interesting in this sense because now we did it. I'm going to go back to the preview. We went back to the preview I did with Ghana Nigel Ballers, Clinton, and he said two favorites he's not trusting in as many words. South Africa he felt weren't playing well. No, look, they made this stage, and then Nigeria he felt they didn't get enough preparation. And right now it looks like Fadri looks like she's coming on for Shabak, but we could live in a world where Nigeria and possible right now for sure it looks like South Africa are headed to the international playoff route. But imagine a world where, because last World Cup on the women's side, you had Morocco, South Africa, Nigeria make it out of their group, and Zambia came there and just like were there for vibes and they had a good time. Zambia's not coming back. Second ball, one here off a good diagonal. South Africa looking, cuts it inside, but doesn't have a left foot. Headed, but deflected. Ah, and this is where you need a foot. Try to drag it past, but a foul is given. And Morocco now get the free kick. That sequence, anytime I see them carrying the stretcher, and that's the thing, it was the carry that did it for me. They were just like, I'm like, everything. As a former lifeguard, I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's spinal, man. That man dead. That man dead. Here comes Morocco. They get the ball down the line. Good tackle by South Africa, but a deep throwing coming forward. The Atlas Lionesses. Dude, I remember that. This sequence was something. Now here comes South Africa. Now they gotta. She gets out wide. Good stretch of defense. She has Bazani. Tries to put it inside and right into the defender. Throw in coming for South Africa. Benzina just stands her ground, takes the shot, and now a throw. And now South Africa making some changes here as they're taking out Malut. I'm sorry, Matau is coming out. Is coming on here. Mudali. So Matau for Mudali. Let's see if this can add a little bit more life for Banyana Banyana. And deflected away for a goal kick. Indeed. Oh. And free kick given. Tries to shield out, but then going on. Free kick from Morocco. It's looking tough out here for South Africa. It's looking tough. And not to, go hindsight is 2020 here. The game's not done yet. But South Africa lost to Tanzania, though we're in control, had to come back against Cote d'Ivoire. And then Burkina Faso were pretty level with them. I don't think we should be surprised that this side is struggling with a Moroccan side who quite frankly, have been the best side in this tournament so far. And the only team that's out that Morocco faced that really made it difficult for them are in the semifinals and are going to the World Cup. There's a point to this. Johnny brings down the player looking for a foul. No foul given. We're 60 minutes through. Aitel Hodge with the PK, and the ball goes out. Throw incoming for South Africa. South Africa's got to get going again. Got to go by the 65th minute or by the 70th minute, and then from there start to go. This possession has almost equaled out. A bad bounce, tries to clear it. Udali gets into the middle, but can't control it and loses out on a great opportunity. Ball going down to Morocco. And Morocco, again, spacing has been good. Their playing has been good. Johnny gets back to the middle to Mugabe. This is like, and that's a tough thing. The tough thing for South Africa is they've ships over, badly played, not played, but no one gets to the end of the cross. Here comes Mill, tries to punch. Why are you trying to punch it? Again, this goalkeeper is truly trying to live life on the edge for no reason. But some good opportunities coming there for South Africa. More of that. Get one. Just get one. You can't get two in one go, but you can get one. So get your one and then worry about two after you get the one. Chip back inside. South Africa winning it, tries to chip it through. Good play. The guy turning, looking, but too much on the ball and now put out wide. Good cut back inside, but no one's up there. So now Morocco looking for options. Zari looking, plays it back to the middle, into the middle. Now there's a turn by Masudi. Masudi looking, gets it to Rwadi. And throwing going to South Africa. Time is ticking away here for South Africa. Tries to play through, but then Zena plays it out wide. And Swart has to come out and get it. And chip back in, but tries to go out wide. Can't get it. And a throw in coming for South Africa. It's going to get late early here. Yep. The ideas are there, the execution isn't. That's the frustrating thing, I think, for me watching South Africa. The ideas are there. The execution is just not. It's not up to the standard that I am accustomed to seeing from South Africa. Now, that could either be South Africa being poor this tournament, that could be the teams that they're playing improving. You can choose whatever it is. But for what I'm accustomed to for South Africa, this is not up to what I am used to. And so that's where it's a little disappointing for me. At 65 minutes. Yeah, yeah, cool, 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 cool. Barbados. Yeah, I'm not traveling to Barbados. All right, Morocco. All right, Morocco. Seeing this game out, or South Africa, are we making things interesting? We're past the 65th minute. A good pass. Oh, there it is. There we go. Oh, oh, was right. Let's see. Let's see this replay. She. Oh, that's tight. That's tight. That's tight. That's really tight. But they finally get the timing. Let's take a look at it. This is big. If this changes the game if this is in. This changes the game if this is in. I know, I know, I know. Come on. Let the girls play. Let my 2-1 prediction stand. It's tight, but like this Cole, come on, give it to her. Come on, checking this. Kenya, come on, Kenya. Kenya, make this an enjoyable watch. It's gonna come down to the shoulder. It's gonna come. I think they're gonna look at the shoulder because I think Benzina might be playing her on. I think it's Benzina who might play her on. It might be the shoulder. But looking at it, I think it might be Benzina who plays her on. But come on, come on, come on. Give me something. See, but all this means is I'm gonna have like 12 minutes of additional time. Depends. Did you support Infantino? Did you give him a vote of confidence? Because if you give him a vote of confidence, you're gonna get this call. And so, hmm, go, go, go. The game is on. Ladies and gentlemen, the game's back on. Like I said earlier, get something by the 65th minute, but they get it in the 66th. Okay, okay, okay. We're seated. We are seated. Our bubbly water is here. We're here. She is on sides. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this game. Oh, yeah. Yep. Benzina plays her on. It's 2-1. And now the game begins. But now South Africa with a little bit more life, with a little bit more pep in their step. Morocco has to gain some composure and defend a little bit better here. But now South Africa, they get past Sane. All of a sudden, South Africa. Oh, what a save! What a save! What a save! Oh, we're back in this. This is. Give me my game. Give me my game. Give me my game. Mm. Mm. Oh, Sane tries to play the diagonal, but can't quite get to it. Deflected, goes back to the goalkeeper. Benzina tips the way. Oh, they could have just gone two quick goals there, if not for the flick. That would have devastated them. Oh, if you're South Africa, keep this energy going. Keep this energy. Try to go direct. Too much on it. Tries to keep it inside and cleared out. And Morocco now are just clearing the ball here. Oh, let me see that deflection. Oh, good reflex, good reflexes. This is the first goal Morocco have conceded. Oh, Gamalepe comes on. South Africa all of a sudden. South Africa are now have found the energy, and Morocco are in defend this lead at all costs mode. No, you're offsides. Don't touch it. Yep, offsides there. Hey, South Africa, Banyana, you have found the energy to grow. Okay, and then Marichi, look now. This is the perfect time for a. I need my joints checked because you need to calm this game down. Look, you don't always like a goalie fake substitution or a goalie fake injury. But when you're reading the game like this is at the right time for Morocco. South Africa have found a second win. They found another gear. They have you pinned back. Take a little bit of the air out of this game. And then from there, try to survive. But this is gonna be a finish. Ooh. But now Morocco get the ball into the second half. This this should be What you see, I give two critical statements from South Africa, and South Africa like, let me find a goal to make you remember what you miss. They try to play the ball deep, and they let it go in for a throw. Morocco trying to defend them and make them go the full length of the pitch here versus just gain a clearance, moving through. Morocco win the ball back. They try to play in the middle. They have a player free. Try to go. Muzraoui gets it out wide. Rwani, she puts in the cross and claimed by Schwartz. Now here comes South Africa. Get the ball out wide, and they have options. And now here comes South Africa rolling it on the carpet. Well done. And this is the point. If you're watching this here, or if you could see it, right now you have Morocco's backline are about halfway into their line, but with Swart, the goalkeeper, on it, they advance. But they're now back to that mid space, and Swart goes long, diagonal pass, flicked on, got the Gali gets it. South Africa get to the too heavy of a touch. That goes away. Morocco are gonna have to hold on for this one. They're gonna have to hold one for this one. So here we go, Morocco trying to go direct, headed back down, second ball one, gets the ball wide. Now here comes South Africa. They play down the line, they got space. Good one, two near turns. Gotta be careful here. Down that's a foul. Yep, that is a foul. Free kick coming right inside of the halfway line. Lana doing her part to keep it. South Africa have found a little bit more life here. In the 77th minute, good feet though, dispossessing. And now here comes Morocco coming back in transition. They try to play it through, but won and defended by South Africa. He gets the ball into the middle, goes back down to Lepe, gets it on the side. Lalo goes in, goes across. A little, the guy she's coming in goes across. How do you play it? Even if that's offside. How poor of a pass is that? Even if it's offside. What a That's such a poor pass. Goodness me, Banyana. It was offside, but even still, square the ball better. To South Africa, when you've had the ball, you've been dangerous. Now you have to cash in. 10 minutes. We probably are going to have 7 minutes of additional time. If you factor in the injury, the VAR for the penalty, or not the injury at the penalty, plus the VAR for the goal, we're probably looking about 7, 8 minutes minimum of additional time. So 15 more minutes here as we're into the 80th minute plus for South Africa. Quarterback gets a foul called on it. Well, a very far out free kick. They might try to go direct, try to win the ball in there. But about 15 to 18 minutes. Oh, so a shirt tug is a foul. Oh, and if it's in the box, then that's a penalty. Huh. Interesting. I'm not letting that go. Oh, what are you doing with that strike? Okay, so Masudi dispossesses her now. Morocco coming in. Good. Just go down the line. Go down the line. Stretch the play. But tackled well. Not here comes South Africa back. Ah. Oh my. They're trying to find that Hollywood pass in the middle, but relax. Just keep on holding it. Here comes Benzina. Oh, turn. Oh, Morocco has space coming back. Sorry. Tries to send across it. Head. Oh my goodness. Miss it. What a miss. What a miss. Morocco had the game on the platter and misses, but still on the ball. They try to go through. Now there's two Moroccan players down. South Africa don't care. They're trying to draw this game. Now they're coming through. 2-on-3. They tried it. Bad passing. Oh. And one back by Morocco, and now going to look back. Okay, so there's the she calls it. She goes. I think she's. Ugh. Mugabe gets nothing on the ball, and so this could be very interesting. As Donnelly coming on for uh, Mothao, and so this is we're looking at this now. There's no handball, so it's going to come down to this. Magama comes down behind her. This is true, but they're waiting to look at it. So drop ball happens. No, but yeah, no, it's no handball, and I think the player goes down while about to be contacted. So it's a little bit tough to give it there. But South Africa now back in possession. Ramalepe, good play. Good Johnny tries to go through. Oh, nearly gets it through. Catlana tries to Catlana tries to beat the keeper on a quick shot, but Catlana is lifting this South African side. Her back only. Here comes Morocco. They try to go direct, headed back. But then here we go, South Africa back on the ball. They try to go direct, but Zena wins it in the middle, going back to Morocco. Now Morocco trying to go out wide. Zra. Sudi tries to run through two, but can't quite get to it. And now here comes South Africa. South Africa with urgency all of a sudden feel like South Africa. They try to put it up, but 85th minute plus. Yeah, they almost tried to win a penalty and almost gave up a goal. Probably another 13 to 15 minutes left here. As South Africa chips the ball in back out wide. South Africa with urgency looks like South Africa that I know. Into the middle. Here they go. Gianni moves the ball out wide. Bane with it. With a bad touch. And now here comes Morocco in transition. Rodri turns, tries to play through. Well defended. Throw coming. Guys, we are getting into the witching hour of chaos. It might be, but they just need one more. They just need an opening, and they've had those passes throughout this game. Just gotta draw because Morocco trying to press to take away the space that South Africa have. Grab it, ball to the face, or a hand that they're calling. Gosh, gets a freak. Okay, that's a good. If you're South Africa, keep your composure here. Game is still there. Game is still there to be had. Kahalil. Kahalil. Oh, that's a good one. Well punched away. Kalen Swart reads it. Oh, and to be honest, if you're a Moroccan player there, you gotta sacrifice the body there. You can't just be like, oh, I can't get to it. And one more change coming in for Morocco here. You're gonna wait to see what the damage here is, but this is whew, we're getting here. We are in the 90th minute, and again, I'm guessing 8 9 minutes. This is gonna be quite the photo finish. 8 minutes on the bot. So if you're South Africa, that's maybe 3 to 4 sequences. You got to make these count. You got to make these count. And for Morocco, get stretch this, make them play the entire length of the pitch. Not directly, but Morocco, you're seeing them, they're dropping further back. Here comes Uzraoui, who turns the ball over. She gets going. But South Africa win it. And now here they come. Here comes South Africa again. But Benzina gets it. Katlana gets to it, tries to. And Murchie gathers, and they should be good. All right, yeah, ref is gonna be pretty much. All right, so here comes South Africa. Don't take much time. Sends in the cross, but it's drifting too far out wide, and they're gonna eat up some time. There we go. So Morocco, which just survived. All about surviving. Here comes Morocco breaking. They're gonna call the foul. They do give the foul and some dissension. That should be a yellow. And there it is. Still plenty of time. We've had 2 sequences come through. We need one more sequence to come through now. One more sequence of play to come through. Here we go. So Saud comes on. South Africa, 5 minutes. 5 minutes to find glory. 5 minutes to find glory. That's a quick throw gone in. South Africa now. You don't have time. Here we go. South Africa know they don't have much time. Nearly 4 minutes gone. As the ball could go too wide, but saved on the tackle. Now here we go. They try to go direct through the middle. Again, you got space. Why are you trying to go direct like that? You've just hit one through ball like this. Progress the ball, South Africa. Progress the ball. Okay, so here comes South Africa. Ramalempe. Good diagonal across. Headed up. Masudi tries to clear it, but can't quite clear it. And then it finally goes up unblocked. Tries to head it out. Now throwing coming for South Africa in a dangerous spot. Hey, anything for calls and spend a minute on the ground. Um, Headed down. Oh, Donnelly gets called on the foul. They got to find an opportunity here. As Morocco goes long, headed back in, but too wide. And here we go. Time is ticking away. The middle, South Africa back to it. They go long. One back in the middle, ping ponging back and forth. South Africa just build this up. They, they finally get the ball in the middle. Now South Africa are finally progressing the ball. Now Kalambele puts it in blocked. Now a deep throw and coming in. Take your time, Banyana. You have time. You don't have much, but you do have some. And plays it back to Swart. Moments now. Moments now coming. They get the diagonal. Lamini plays it out. South African throw coming in. Oh, this is pure hang on for dear life. Donnelly holding up, turns, puts it on, deflected, corner. Gets a corner. Now this is going to be a moment. Now this is all players on deck. All hands on deck here. Here we go. Here we go. In swinging ball going to come in. Got to place it well. Here we go into the final minute. Low, but not a good delivery. They play back into the middle. Swart goes direct again. Secondary. Headed into the middle. Second ball, one again. Now you're cheating because you have no choice. They try to chip it inside. Danoni tries to get to it and just dribbles by everyone. And now Morocco are going to try to dribble through. But they give it away. Nagama gets it, tries to fight, fought off with the ball. Time going, and the foul is given. Like this cross is there. Danelli tries to volley it, misses. Ah, there was the chance and just nothing on it. Feels like Morocco are about to just survive. And South Africa will have to go the scenic route. And there it is. Congratulations to Morocco. You are going to the World Cup. And South Africa, you are headed towards the scenic route. A team, Morocco make their third straight semifinals at the WAFCON. A true sign of consistency. But ultimately, it's just a few chances missed and too many opportunities given. And now Morocco and Algeria are two of the African sides. We'll find out the other two tomorrow. And ultimately, ah, South Africa a little bit too little, too late. Too little, too late for them. And we'll give you the player ratings one last moment here as Ait El Haj gets the highest rating, 7.78. She did her thing as a right back for Morocco. Give her props for all things. Tatlana, I mean, at this point, she's carrying South Africa, but Lamini is Lamini certainly did her part, move the ball and create opportunities. But Morocco are going through the semifinals, but ultimately also going through. And they have exercised one demon, Morocco have. They defeated the first team that defeated them in the finals. And maybe they'll have the opportunity to face the other side. They face Nigeria in the semifinals, or possibly Cameroon. We'll have to wait and see how that comes. But as it stands currently, are we updated? Are we updated? Let's find out. But as we sit here, we say congratulations to them. And as it stands currently, South Africa would be the highest ranked losing side. And so they would go on and face the lowest ranked side, which could be anyone from Malawi to Cameroon to Ghana to Nigeria as they sit there. And so congratulations to Morocco. They are on the way through. As you can see, stats playing well. One last look at the stats for you to keep it going. Expected goals playing well in the second half. South Africa again just create out of nothing, just couldn't connect as well as they'd like. The one corner we saw at the end, bad delivery. But South Africa, a little bit too little, too late for them. And now Morocco, Algeria are the two African representatives at the Women's World Cup next year, but also two of the semifinalists at the Women's AFCON this year as we go. And guys, that's what we are going to wrap it up here. We are going to wrap it up here. Congratulations to the Atlas Lionesses. Banyana Banyana, still alive for the World Cup. They'll have to go through the Intercontinental Playoff route. Uh, good old good old Wiki hasn't updated yet, but South Africa, as you can see here, are going down here. They are going to be probably they are more than likely going to be the highest ranked loser. So they're going to be facing off with they're going to be here, and then from there we'll go. And then Morocco will await the winner of Cameroon and Nigeria moving forward. Tomorrow we have Cameroon, Nigeria. That's a matchup. And then the most intriguing matchup, when we'll be back for this one, Malawi versus Ghana coming through. Winner gets Algeria. And we wrote and we run through and see. But guys, thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. We appreciate you coming. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to like this type of content. Again, more tournaments, more things coming. We'll be there for it. So thank you again for all the support. And as always, I'm going to just wrap it up right here.